Lace were two blokes from deepest Yorkshire, and Agadoo was their biggest UK hit. But the cheesy chartmeisters have always divided opinion.
I mean, as a dancer, you know, well, hold on. Well, I was going to say I embrace anything that gets people on the floor, but there is a limit.
Black Lace had mullet haircuts. They were a bit naff. They were like DJs you would find in a Warrington disco club.
It's easy to mock, really very easy in this case, but these lads have paid their showbiz dues.
You know, they'd done the camps, they'd done the resorts, they knew their audience. The wrinkles on those men's faces are not merely a sign of age, they're battle scars. They know when they walk into that room full of nanas and babies that somebody's got to get this party started.
Agadoo has been voted the worst song of all time, but it sold over 1 million copies worldwide, helped by the easy-to-perform dance. But where exactly did the moves come from?
Agadoo, the song, actually is a French song. It originates from France, but the dance moves originates from a Derby nightclub. The rumour is Black Lace turned up to perform, and the bar staff had come out with some kind of dance, and then it took off from there. So if you want to blame anybody for Agadoo, blame the French and Derby.
Consider it done, my friend.
First, when there's nothing but a slow-glowing dream that your fear seems to hide deep inside your mind. All alone, I've cried silent tears, full of pride, in a world made of steel, made of stone. Or, to put it another way,
my God, I was good.
I think Robert Webb doing Flashdance for Comic Relief is one of the funniest moments on British television. It was incredible because it was almost like, is he being serious?
Yes, I was, actually.
I was initially watching it from a distance and thought, who's that?
Calm down, I'm a married man.
Robert's performance was outrageously funny. I mean, the guy came out and played the part and completely took command of the dance floor.
Took command? I owned that dance floor, baby.
He is pretty scary, and a pretty scarily good-looking woman. Legs, great legs.
Thank you, Melanie.
at 21, and let's not kid ourselves that it would even be in the top 50 if it weren't for my performance, for which they didn't even give me so much as a BAFTA. It's Flashdance by Irene Cara.
It was about a young girl who aspires to be a legitimate dancer, and she's right now is a wielder during the day, and at night she does these incredible music video type dancing.
It was based on some girls in Pittsburgh who were working in strip clubs or whatever, but they were trying to do something that represented themselves. It was called flash dancing.
He doesn't need a thing from me. Wow, I'm such a huge fan of Flashdance, especially the scene where she pulls the chain and all the water goes over it.
And the water. That was my favourite. I would have kicked myself round a steel works if I could look like that in the end.
I think it was a movie, really, that was just one great music video.
The film made everyone want to dance, and even people who had never been near a dance studio wore leg warmers and lycra.
Everyone knows the Flashdance look, yeah, with the cut-off shoulder and the leg warmers, the whole 80s feel.
It was very, very Pineapple. What with the off-the-shoulder sweat and the high-cut knickers and the crop in cotton lycra.
It was about jazz dance, you know, that Fame era with the leotard and the leg warmers and the hair.
It caught people's imagination, and that's great when you do that. It's the best feeling, I think, you know, when people live your movie.
To fulfill her dream, Alex needed a scholarship to the dance academy, and we were all rooting for her on the day of the big audition.
When that music kicks in and she's doing that audition, and I could be 100 years old and I'll still be dancing because it's the adrenaline, the feeling of you will do it, do it, do it, do it.
That scene where she's just like living what a feeling is just what dance was about in that era.
I think people were caught up in the idea of somebody wanting something enough and having their dream come true.
She goes along the panel pointing, you, and the kicks, the everything.
Take your passion, make it happen. It speaks to people's motivation, their faith in themselves. Those are things that are very human and very universal.
She's doing all these leaps and somersaults. She turns on her back, which is a very hard, like, hardcore hip-hop move. Then it was like, whoa.
Now, we don't want to break the spell, but we do feel obliged to point out that I'm not the only bloke to have danced that audition scene.
Is it an urban myth that it was really a man that did like all the acrobatics and stuff?
I've watched that over and over again, and it cuts. It's definitely not her doing that, but it's been.
Being asked to wear a leotard, tights, and a wig, and being asked to shave my legs and my underarms. I wasn't groomed to be an actor or anything like that, where they'll be like, "Oh well, yeah, cool, all right. So you need me to shave my legs, and I'll shave my ass too, just in case." I was like, "Yo, you better give me some money for this."
Note to viewers, I did not shave my ass when I did Flashdance.
If you like a man whose surname is a number, you'll love our next entry. It's Hey Ya, sung by Outkast's Andre 3000. I'm actually toying with the idea of changing my name from Robert Webb to Bobby Millions. I won't really do it, of course. It just sounds ace when I'm chatting up women on the street. Anyway, the great thing about this video is that Mr. 3000 plays the roles of all of the band members himself. It had to be filmed in one day too, so the less energetic the dance, the later it was in the shoot. And unusually for something coming out of my mouth, that's actually true. Here's your number 20. Oh, guys, get some vitamin C. Come on.
The Outcast dance was that.
It's pretty much that, isn't it?
Shake it like a Polaroid picture. I can only guess that it means shake your booty like a Polaroid picture.
Shake it, shake it, shake it. At one moment, there's a slow motion. I fell in love with that girl when that music video came out. God, she's so hot.
Polaroid used the popularity of this song to try and revive sales of their cameras. However, shaking a Polaroid doesn't actually help to develop a picture, as the image is behind a protective film. Indeed, vigorous shaking risks distorting the image and could actually cause the ink to separate. I'm so sorry, that was incredibly boring, wasn't it?
And everyone used to do this to make them develop quicker, didn't they? I don't know why. Because photographers used to do this. And because it was the heat, I think that did it. But everyone used to shake them.
I never had any Polaroid pictures with me.
It's digital now, really. You know, it's pretty much modernised.
That's a good point, actually.
So
yeah.
It's completely redundant.
Get over it, Outcast.
Get over it.
At number 19 on our list of pop's greatest dance crazes, we have the 1989 dance floor sensation, the Lambada. It's a sensual piece of music that evokes romantic evenings by the beach, eyes meeting over cocktails, and a mustachio busker in a sombrero going ay, 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 as he plays a guitar 2 feet from your table, his phlegm drenching your deep-fried calamari. Idiot.
We've brought in an expert to teach us the steps. But first, here's a reminder of the video that started the craze.
The video featured 2 Brazilian kids, Chico and Roberta.
I was about the same age as the young little boy. My mum used to say, Bradley, that looks like you. But the girl that he dances with, my gosh, I used to fancy her so bad.
this sort of slightly uncomfortable Lolita-ish dancing girl and her tiny dance partner sort of, you know, wiggling around the thing, like doing this really quite full-on dance. I would feel very uncomfortable if that came on telly when I was young, when my parents were in the room.
Embarrassing maybe, but that's what the lambada is designed to do, to make us get up close and personal.
You need the energy of your partner that's holding your hand, and he's like pulling you hips, 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 hips.
The intimacy of the lambada is quite aggressive, you know, for the Brits, because everyone's a little bit more reserved here. And of course, we know it's a Brazilian sort of carnival type dance.
I need a partner. Where's my partner? Partner.
I think the Latino culture is really fiery. There is no gap between the partner. It's really important to have that physical contact and that eye contact.
You're doing together, and it's almost like having a lot more fun than just dancing.
A lot of women just like wanted to put on a mini skirt and twirl and maybe show their panties, glimpse of their panties.
I couldn't cope with it. It was so beyond my experience of life. I didn't know what to do.
You know, it was a very, very naughty, sexy dance.
That is what dancing's meant to be. It's meant to be sexy and skillful and poised.
I agree, Rufus, but unfortunately, not everyone is quite as skillful and sexy as Lorraine Kelly.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
That's right. Next up, it's YMCA by the Village People. Not really! It is, of course, the Bangles with their lie about how Egyptians walk. But first, a Bangles fact. When they were recording the song Eternal Flame, producer David Sigerson convinced them to sing naked. There's only one thing I have to say about that.
If you've got a great song with a title like Walk Like an Egyptian, what do you reckon you're going to do?
How do people move to walk like an Egyptian? Everybody knows. It's like that.
I mean, it did it for you, didn't it? Easy. Bit of this.
Things we had an Egyptian kid in our school, and we used to just walk past all the time going, he had a terrible time.
The Bangles were a trailblazing all-girl power pop combo from LA who hit #3 with this track in 1986. But the moves weren't exactly groundbreaking.
The Egyptian dance was a dance that had been done like years ago, and then they brought it back.
The sand dances were performed in the music halls by very, very thin men in nappies. And the joke basically was, look at this very, very thin man skidding around on some sand.
You just wouldn't make a song now picking a country and saying they all look like that. You just wouldn't nowadays. But, back in the 80s, we didn't think of such things, did we?
Well, even the writer of the song admits the inspiration. No, it wasn't. You know, he wasn't in Arabia and saw people doing that. It wasn't some documentary. He saw people doing that. No, the inspiration is from he saw people struggling on a ferry. He was struggling to stand up on a ferry, doing that. He goes, "Oh, that looks Egyptian." I think walking like people struggling on a ferry probably hasn't got the ring to it.
But I think what the Bangles fundamentally misunderstood was that the pictorial hieroglyphic representation of Egyptian history was just that. I mean, I'm not an Egyptologist, but I don't think the Egyptians were walking around like that. And therefore, I think the Bangles have done history a great disservice.
Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian.
Hello there. I'm just rowing a small boat across a lake. Hang on a minute. No, I'm not. I'm actually sat on a dance floor with a piece of broken glass in my bottom. Which can only mean one thing. I'm hammered and the DJ has put on Oops Upside Your Head. I could have stopped doing this ages ago, couldn't I?
Oops upside your head. Say oops upside your head. Say oops. I want y'all to say this with me. Say oops upside your head. Say oops upside your head. Say it loud. Say oops
Oops Upside Your Head is a song played exclusively at family get-togethers. It's basically a group sat